Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. I just took a drink of water. I hit the button a little bit quick there. Hey chat, what was I flying first? Call out what I was flying first. Those are two different rigs. Either, so you're just going to call out what was first, all right? What was either first was the 2S Walksnail 75mm rig or the 1S 75 Pro rig. Which one was I flying first of those two flight files? Don't cheat and rewind and just look at the color of the frame. Did you even notice a difference? Did you notice a difference in the flight characteristics between the first bit of flying and the second bit of flying? If not, you just weren't looking for it. It's okay. I'll forgive you. But if you go back, then think about it. Welcome, friends. It is Monday Q&A. We are going to be flying this absolutely ridiculous build that I did a few days ago, actually, which is basically the absolute ultimate BetaFPV Meteor 65 Air. This is using the 5-in-1, which is a little bit lighter than the 4-in-1 with the external receiver. It's also an easier build because you don't have to wire up an external receiver. And then it is a Newbie Drone Light AF frame, Weebleed 0702 40,000 kV motors. HQ ultralight tri-blades, which I'm probably going to take off. I put these propellers on mainly because they're red for the thumbnail. I am going to run a battery on them, but then I'm pretty much going to take these props off. With these crazy high kV motors, I really like the Gemfan biblades, the 1210 biblades. And yeah, I mean, we're pushing these 5 amp FETs on these AIOs to their limits. These are 40,000 kV motors, for God's sakes. Let's leave biblades on them for the sake of sanity. And then it's the Air65 G-string canopy with the old school camera. I'm not a huge fan of the new CO3 camera, where the board is taller than it is wide. It adjusts. It makes too many white balance adjustments, and they're like very noticeable when it adjusts the white balance. So I've got the older camera on here. Little garbage antenna. This is just a whip antenna that I've removed the ground plane from to make it super lightweight. For flying around the house, though, this antenna works totally fine. That's it. That's the whole build. Oh, no. I've got one of these awesome little Tiny Whoop BT 2.0 LED chips that are like my new favorite little thing. It's hard to find these Tiny Whoops sometimes when you crash them. And so this gives me a big old bright LED on the back of the thing. And it doesn't really weigh hardly anything. On the last stream, I weighed this little battery lead setup versus the old school 180 degree setups with the shrink wrap that I used to do all the time. And they're the same. They really weigh the same. Technically, one of them was 0.1 of a gram heavier, but the wire leads were longer. And so once I cut those wire leads down, yeah, they're the same weight. I didn't actually weigh them once I cut it down, but the battery leads are 22 gauge, I think, and they're heavy. That is a heavy. I mean, really, on all of our quads, the battery leads are pretty heavy. If you can keep your battery leads shorter, you will save 0.5%, 1% of total weight, depending on how long you've got them. So keep that in mind. Always try to keep your battery leads nice and short. Also, the longer they are, the better chance that they're somehow going to work their way out into the props and get all chopped up. So yeah. Hey, safety announcement. I was in the newest version of the Betaflight configurator today on the newest firmware. It was one of these Tiny Whoops. I think it was this one. Oh, by the way, the first quad that I was flying was the 1S75 Pro. The second quad that I was flying was the 2S Walksnail rig. If you go back to the beginning and rewatch, you'll totally see the difference. So yeah, I was in the newest configurator on the newest firmware, 0.5, and I went into the motors tab to get the propeller, the motor spinning the right direction, and it did that OG bug where it went full throttle on the motors, on all 4 motors, and the only way to get it to stop was to unplug the battery lead. So that previously we'd thought that was a bug with Betaflight 0.3, I think. Nope, it's still around. So for God's sakes, if it's any bigger than a Tiny Whoop and you're in Betaflight with a battery plugged in, get the propellers off. All right? I shouldn't have to tell you this, but I know that I do. Because I will be lazy about it sometimes too. With like a 3-inch rig or a 3.5-inch rig, I'll never do it with a 5-inch rig. I have in the past, but I won't in the future. I'll try not to in the future. I won't do it more than one more time in the future. I'll do it in the future. But I'll put, like, what I do with a 5-inch rig is I put a rag. I put like 2 rags over the left and right banks of motors. And so if the motors crank up, the rag will get all like tangled up in the motors and it'll just catch the ESC on fire. But yeah, take your props off, for God's sakes, friends. A 3-inch rig or a 3.5-inch rig will cut the shit out of you. I've got a scar on this finger, and I've got a scar somewhere over on this side of my hand from 3-inch rigs gashing me. One time I went to the hospital. The next time I'd learned from the hospital how to know if there was a tendon that got cut or whatever, and I didn't. But it was nasty both times. It was really, really nasty. So be super careful. Even though the motor direction wizard only spins the motors kind of slowly, there's still this weird bug where it goes full bananas. And it doesn't matter. You can hit the space bar, you can hit the end key, you can click disconnect on Betaflight. That quad just keeps charging at full throttle with all 4 motors until you unplug the battery. It is scary shit. So keep those props off, friends. I don't want to see any of you guys getting all chopped up. I can't imagine a 3.5-inch rig on like 1804s plugged into USB next to my legs going full throttle with all 4 motors. Like, that would be absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, careful, friends. In the chat, Bob Bruce was first, Troy Prelog was next, Curtis Hayes, Walter Van Den Ord, Yamasor, Spaceman Spiff, Titan FPV Toast, Timmons, FPV Luke, McMucus Doubles, Siskel, Kilo Zebra, Soap Legend, Prop Breaker, Bob Bruce, Scotty Scott, Tony Morgan, Atreides, Dave T, McMucus, Demo FPV, Apollo, Peace and Love FPV. That's a good YouTube name right there. Dave T, Scotty Scott, Northern Tier, Fun Per Volt, Thrash FPV, Douglas 6, Nordy FPV, Adam Weston, Skull 901, CMYK FPV is in the house, Dave S, Prop Breaker, who didn't I get here? Tiny Shark, H2O, Crispy Drip, GeoRam 65, Aber the Ham with a 1999 super chat. Dude, thank you so much. Very, very generous. He says, long time, good to see you, dude. Been out of the flying scene for a minute because family/life. But I'm glad to see you still grinding away on streams. Cheers, man. Thank you, dude. Very, very cool of you to support the madness that is attempting to do FPV as a full-time job. It's been a hell of a ride over the last 3.5 years. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I possibly can. As long as you guys keep supporting me, I will be able to do it. It's been very slow in terms of flying gigs over the last 2 months, which is a little scary. I want to think that it's just because, like, who the hell wants to go outside in the dead of summer in Georgia? I have a couple things booked for next month, which is great. But yeah, the support that you guys give me here on the live streams is like mega important when the flying gigs kind of dry up. So thank you for that. CiottiFPV.com is the little Linktree website that I've got where you can check out everything that I'm doing and figure out the best ways to kind of support me. Streaming schedule right here. As it says, Patreon definitely helps me out the most, and you get the most benefits, to be really honest. There's a YouTube playlist with a ton of really good stuff that you'll get access to. 2 different Facebook groups, full Discord access, a bunch of technical articles on the actual Patreon itself. Yeah, it's well worth the 10 cents a day that you're going to pay to jump on there. This week from today is the first Monday of the month, and the first Monday of every month I do a whole bunch of giveaways. 4 giveaways. 3 of those 4 giveaways are for patrons. So if you're currently on the $3 a month tier and you move just up to the $5 a month tier, you'll get entered into the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick giveaways. And like, those giveaways are like over $50 worth of stuff. So when you eventually win one of those, that's like 10 months of free Patreon, basically, right? And I give away good stuff. So think about it. If you got an extra couple of dollars, jump up to a tier where you can get on the giveaways. It's super fun. There's also a $10 a month tier if you fly 3-inch micro brushless and Tiny Whoop stuff. Those are the parts I give away for those folks. And then there's a $20 a month tier for 5-inch parts. So like, if you only fly 5-inch stuff, you can enter a specific giveaway to win just 5-inch parts. There's also a $1 a day tier, which will enter you to win all 3 of those giveaways. So you'll be entered into all 3 of those giveaways on the first Monday of every single month. Support the people that make the cool stuff that you like to watch on YouTube, and they'll keep doing it, and they'll do a better job at it. I also have an Etsy store with all kinds of really cool new stuff, although somebody did snag the Meteor 75 Pro today, so there's one less fully built, upgraded, tuned rig on there, but there are a couple more. And I'm going to be adding loads of new stuff to the Etsy store over the next couple of weeks. Look at that. Whee! 8,000 of me. Fiverr has some really fun stuff going on. I can help you just basically get all the knowledge you ever wanted. I've been doing this for over 8 years now. The best possible way to learn as much as possible with anything is to spend time with an expert in it. And so if you want to get a ton of knowledge in a short amount of time, Fiverr is how you do it. Or just message me. My Instagram is up here. There's an email somewhere here as well. There's a Discord link as well. Message me somewhere. Tell me what you're looking to learn. We'll schedule it out, spend a half an hour or an hour. You can bounce a bunch of questions off me, or I can walk you through some stuff. We can work on getting you flying better in the simulator. I can spectate you. I can look at your sticks. You can spectate me, look at my sticks. That's one of my favorite things to do, actually. And I'm really good at it, to be honest with you guys. I used to be a motorsport instructor at autocross and track days. I spent many years figuring out how to get people to do something that's very hard and very stressful and very anxiety-inducing more safely and have more fun and be better, be faster. And I've rolled that right into FPV flight instruction. And the folks that I work with get better like week over week over week. It's so rewarding for me to have that person come back the next week and be like visibly better because of like the drills that I had them working on, or just like sometimes like over the course of a half an hour or hour, I will actually see someone getting better. It's wild. It's so cool. Like once you have somebody that can like break this stuff down for you, that can watch your sticks live, it's a total game changer, because like there's so much subtlety and there's so many different things that we're doing on the sticks. Having someone, be able to like watch that live, you can really figure stuff out. Things like, you know, a super common thing is when people start to get quick with the throttle. It would look better if I did it opposite-handed for you guys. When you get really fast moving the throttle up and down, a lot of times what happens is you start to kind of do this as you raise the throttle, and so you'll push or pull into yaw. And like, so what you'll notice is like every time you do a power loop, even if you line it up perfectly, all of a sudden you're off, and you're like, why does that happen every single time? And it always happens in the same direction. And so I'll just be like, all right, do it. Do a couple of power loops, and I'll watch your stick overlay do this, and I'm like, all right, here, let me show you. And I'll have them spectate me, and I'll be like, this is what you're doing. Can you see the problem? And I'll usually be drastic about it. But yeah, stuff like that, it'll take you forever to figure that out on your own. Having somebody like looking at your stick overlay live can figure a bunch of that stuff out. So yeah, super helpful stuff there. We can also work on like build planning so that your build is actually set up the way that it should be for your goals as a pilot, where you want to fly, how you want to fly, how often you want to crash, all that stuff. And also tuning. If you want to learn how to tune without black box, which is basically tuning by ear and by like just flying, I can help you out with that. And we can, in the process, we tune like 1 or 2 of your rigs. So lots of cool stuff going on over on Fiverr. Teespring has some really fun shirts and other random apparel stuff. PayPal if you want to support me directly, but you don't want to do a super chat. And then tons of affiliate links. Change your bookmarks to affiliate links, friends. Support people on the internet that are making stuff that you watch for free on YouTube. If you don't use bookmarks and you just type into the URL bar, you can type like AMA and it'll suggest Amazon.com. You can click remove that suggestion, and then you hit my Amazon affiliate link a couple times, and then your browser thinks like, oh, right, when he types AMA, he wants to go to this link he just clicked 3 times in a row. And you can do that for all these, so you never have to think about it again. Amazon, GetFPV, Pirate Drone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, WeBleed FPV, BetaFPV, FPV Cycle, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HDZero, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Butter, AliExpress. Those are all the websites that I have affiliate links to. You guys have been doing an awesome job somehow remembering to use those affiliate links. My Patreon's been, I don't know, it's been weird. It's been fallen off. I don't know if like Patreon is, I don't know what's happening, but you guys have been using the affiliate links more, which has offset the Patreon kind of taking a dump. So yeah, thank you for that. Very, very cool of you. I appreciate that more than you can imagine. So the very first little bit of flight, GeoRam65 with a $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. No comment, just wants to support the insanity. Thank you, dude, very much. Couple of things. So the battery or two, I'm actually going to play another one of these batteries from this rig here, and we're gonna talk about it. So this is the 1S. Hang on. Just getting another battery up for you to watch it while I kind of talk you through this. So this is the 1S Walksnail 75mm build. And at the moment, there you go. All right, so here's the full build. This is with a 1S 450 mAh BT 2.0 battery. At the moment, the build is BetaFPV 75 Pro frame, the bigger one that uses the 45mm props. The brand new HQ 45mm biblades, which we're going to talk more about in a second. There's one missing. I'll tell you why. And then this is a BetaFPV F4 5-amp cross-style AIO. And then just a Walksnail Lite setup. The Walksnail Lite VTX, no heat spreader, which saves like a gram, I think it is. And then Module 6 canopy and a True RC ultra short singularity antenna tucked up under the canopy. This is the last flight video that you will ever see of this combination of parts. The Walksnail setup adds 6 grams, which is a lot for a tiny whoop. The BetaFPV 75 Pro frame adds like 4 or 5 grams to a regular 75mm setup. Yes, you get bigger propellers that'll make a little bit more power and be a little bit more efficient. But the extra weight, like basically we are really at the limits of 1S, and you have to pick. If you're going to build a 75mm analog rig where it's not going to have the extra 6 grams of Walksnail, you can use this 75 Pro frame with the bigger propellers, and it actually flies awesome. You've added weight from the 75 Pro frame, but you haven't also added the weight from Walksnail, right? If you build a 75mm Walksnail rig, you're adding that 6 grams from the Walksnail. You can't also add that extra weight from the frame. You got to pick. The 75 Pro is awesome as an analog rig, and that's where this frame and motors and props are going to be going. They're going to have an analog stack put into them here. So this frame, motor, canopy, camera setup. Oh, the motors are BetaFPV 1102 22,000s, which are absolutely the motors that you would want to run on this frame. They have enough grunt for the bigger propellers. And so, yeah, with this combination right here, you get less than 2 minutes of runtime. If you really run the battery down, you can get more than 2 minutes, but don't do that. It's really hard on the batteries. 2 minutes of runtime is just not enough. Also, the flight characteristics are just not all that good. It's just too much weight. And so, yeah, I did this as an experiment. It is coming out of here. CMYK says throttle control in this background video is wild. Yeah, that is mainly because this is too heavy. This is so heavy that, I mean, I do have Throttle Expo dialed in on this rig, but this setup is so heavy that it's underpowered, and when you have an underpowered rig, you get great throttle control. Because like even when you're at full throttle, it's not like jumping up into the sky, right? So that's what's going on with this thing. I would be okay with the power to weight ratio if the runtime was better. Someone is now thinking, well, you idiot, just run a higher MAH battery like a 550. Well, when you put a 550 on this, as I did at some point here, the 550 is way heavier, and the power to weight ratio sucks when you run a 550. So like this setup with a 450, the power to weight ratio is somewhat acceptable. It's still not good, but it's acceptable. But the runtime is kind of unacceptable, and it's going to cook all of your 450 mAh batteries. Runtimes of less than 2 minutes, in my opinion, are putting too much heat and stress on the batteries, and you are not going to get many cycles out of those batteries discharging them in 2 minutes or less. And so, yeah, this thing is coming apart. These are the last couple of flights that I'm going to put on this exact setup. I had a feeling that this was going to happen, but I really wanted to give it a chance. I think I'm about 30 batteries deep into this setup, and yeah, The only way to get over 2 minutes is to run the battery like really far down, and that's going to be even harder on the batteries. And yeah, I'm just not really happy with the way that it flies. So this 1S setup is going to be coming out of here, and it's going to be going on to... Where the hell did it go? Here it is. It's going to be going on to a BetaFPV Air65 frame, which is the lightest weight 75mm frame, with the same motors, actually. This is another set of the BetaFPV 1102 22,000 kV motors. These motors are awesome for dragging around the extra weight of the Walksnail setup. And so I've done a ton of testing with this 1S Walksnail rig, and I've always come back to these motors. GemFan 1610 props, because these motors have 1.5mm motor shafts. And yeah, this setup here, you know what? Shit, let's do it while I'm reading through chat. I'll tell you the exact weight difference between these two, because I'm kind of curious. I think it's 4.7 or 5 grams. But we'll see in a minute. All I got to do is pull these motor plugs, unscrew 4 screws, and yeah, we'll take a look. But that's what you were watching. It's still what you were watching. If you look down in the corners, you can see the black ducts. That's why I told you not to cheat and rewind and just look at the ducts. At some point here... Okay, so here you go. So now you see these ducts are farther down and they're kind of gray. Now it's the 2S rig. This is... hold on. Before we dive into that... I have found a... I'm actually going to pause this for this. I might do a live stream about this. I have found a straight up kind of like fatal flaw of these HQ ultra lightweight new 40 and 45mm propellers, which is this right here. They become 2-piece propellers, unfortunately. I have now... So this is the 40mm, 1.6-inch version of the HQ Ultralight, which I have now broken 2 of, I think. I'm not drilling them out. I'm not doing anything. I'm just running them, and they just break. I have now broken 4 of the 45mm version, and... I broke 2 of them today on crashes into the grass. When you make a propeller and you start making it lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, eventually you're going to make it so light that it's too fragile. Too fragile it depends, right? Too fragile for me might not be too fragile for you, but the crashes that I've been breaking these on are not hard crashes. And when these break, they go completely, they disappear, and you can't find them in the grass, of course. You also can't fly your rig after that. So if this were to happen like up on the roof or up in a tree or something, up in a tree you can turtle, hopefully you can turtle mode with the other propellers and at least get it down. But this is super dangerous. This is a great way to lose the entire rig. And when you've got Walksnail on the board, on board, you're losing almost $300 worth of Tiny Whoop, and that's brutal. So as much as I love the way that these new ultralight HQ props fly, I don't know. Like they definitely they fly noticeably better than the heavier GemFan 1610s or the 45mm GemFans. But the GemFans never break like that. I've never had that happen with one of these GemFans, and I'm like thousands of batteries into the GemFan 1610s and the 45mm. And so yeah, be really careful with these HQ ultralight props. If you never crash, you'll probably be okay. But yeah, if you crash, you're probably going to run into these breaking, and you are not going to be able to take back off after they break. So keep that in mind. That's scary shit right there. I'm now going to click play on the 2S Walksnail 75mm build, which is actually lighter than this, unbelievably. It's got more power, more runtime, better efficiency, and it's lighter. It does everything better than this setup here. What you're looking at is the last two batteries that I'm going to be flying on these iFlight Zing 0803 19,000 kV motors that were limited down to 85%. As you can see, the power is great. The response time is great. The flight characteristics are awesome. But these motors are way too fragile. If you remembered, when I first told you guys that I was going to be trying these motors out, I specifically said I probably won't like them because they're too fragile of a motor. I tried these motors out on the tiny lifters many years ago. The yard is not on fire. I put a couple of orange lights in there to celebrate fall. It looks wild though, doesn't it? I have now killed 2 of these iFlight Zing 0803 19,000s in the span of 3 batteries. I knew that they were fragile. I didn't realize that they were this fragile. So yeah, I do not recommend the iFlight Zing 0803 19,000s for pretty much anyone. They're yeah, like crashes that are not hard at all will kill these motors, and it's just silly. That being said, I've got a bunch of these for sale. If you don't crash, these motors are fine. Like, look at them ripping around, man. Like, these motors make great power. 803 is a really exciting motor size that I'm hoping that we'll see more of in the future. And so, yeah, if you want to build a tiny whoop to rip and not crash, these motors are great for 2S. Definitely not for 1S. But yeah, for 2S, these motors are awesome. That's actually me crashing in one of the neighbors' backyards, which was kind of creepy. I'm usually pretty good about not doing that, but every once in a while you gotta be an idiot, I guess. I guess that's the last file, I think, right? Yeah, so that's the last file. Yeah, I will have a bunch of these for sale. I think I've got like 7 or 8 of them. So if you want to build a ripping 2S tiny whoop, 75 millimeter, probably even work on a 65 if you want to be weird and do a 2S 65. I don't recommend it, but I also don't know what frame you would get to hold a 2S battery on a 65, but you do you. Yeah, these would be great motors. Just don't crash them. Do not crash these motors. They will not survive. These are some of the most fragile motors I've ever run into in the tiny whoop world. They are bearing motors, and that's all I really have to say about them. But they will be up on the Etsy store at some point here because I just crash constantly, and so they are not the motors for me. Stuff with Caleb says, thank you for answering my question on Friday. You're certainly welcome, my friend. I'm reading chat out of order because I'm working on quads. So if I missed your question, don't worry, I will get to it. I need so I now have a 2S Walksnail 75 millimeter frame without motors on it. What other motors should I be testing on the 2S rig? Any ideas? Nightwing, what's up, homie? The next set of motors that I'm going to be testing on the 2S rig, it's actually already bolted down, are a set of they're the old school ones, but I don't think they changed anything. They're the BetaFPV 1102 19,000s. Sorry, 18,000s. I feel like all I'm doing is talking about BetaFPV's 1102 motors tonight. But yeah, and for the first time, I'm going to be trying this 2S rig out on the Mobula 7 V4 frame. All the previous flying I've done has been on the V3 frame. The V3 frame is meant for 2S. The V4 frame is not meant for 2S, but you can remove the little upper supports that usually break off, and then you can put a 2S battery in here so long as you use an AIO that does not have a USB port. This is why I've chosen to use this BetaFPV, this specific BetaFPV AIO that uses this silly little JST to USB-C adapter so that I can run this Mobula 7 V4 frame and see if I like it. I've heard that the V3 frame is more durable. we'll see. These motors have 1.5mm motor shafts, so the only propeller option for me is the Gemfan 1610, which I'm kind of happy about at this point because I've had so many of these HQ 45mm and the 1.6-inch 40mm biblades blow up on me now. And so yeah, back to the Gemfan 1610s almost across the board, I think, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe a light enough weight 75mm rig would be okay with the 1.6-inch props, the 1.6-inch HQ ultralights. But I don't know. This one here broke on an 0802 75mm rig, which is, when you put 0802s on a 75, it's pretty lightweight. So yeah, I don't know. And that one broke when I was flying like 1 mile an hour and bumped into the leg of this table. Like, it was not a hard crash at all. Here's what I will also say. There's a chance that one of the reasons that these are breaking, and this doesn't happen on the Gemfan props in fairness, but these HQ props, one of the ways that they saved weight is by making the hub really small. You can see that tiny little hub there, right? Compare that to like the Gemfan 1610 hub, which is kind of hard to see, but it's much smaller. It's much thinner of a hub than the Gemfan props have. What might be happening, I've actually seen this with Newbie Drone Azzy props, is that when the hub is really thin like this, and when the propeller fits relatively tight on the motor shaft, it seems like the motor shaft is like pushing out on that hub all the time and like stressing the hub out. And then when you add like a shock load to the blade of the propeller, the hub just like lets go. That was something that would happen to Azzy props. I would like put them onto the motors. The rig would sit on the shelf for like a week or two, and then I would go to fly it. I would arm it. I'd go full throttle, and one of the props would just blow up. Because like the inner diameter was just like under all this tension, and it developed like little cracks and whatnot. That could be happening here. I have been drilling these out a little bit with the pin vise. I've got a pin vise here with a 0.99mm drill bit, which I do have extras of if you want one. They will be going up on the Etsy store as well. I also have a 1.49mm drill bit on here. And I have been drilling these out so that they're not under so much stress when I put them on the motor shaft. So yeah, if you're going to run these HQ ultralights and you're pushing them onto your motor and they're really difficult to push on there, stop. Take them off. Get yourself a drill bit and drill them out so you don't have to push so hard on them. That's going to give you a better chance of this not happening, right? Because the hub is not going to be constantly like, holding on for dear life. So yeah, keep that in mind, my friends. All right, so I got these motors unplugged. Let me remove these 4 screws. And I think that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I flew a bunch of batteries today. I broke a bunch of props. And I played you the flight footage. I did not fly the HDZero AIO 5 rig today because I'm a goddamn genius. And I remembered. I'm a genius because I remembered this in the middle of the night. I didn't write it down. I was sure that I would forget by the morning, but I actually remembered in the morning. I remembered that FPV Exchange long ago sent me this piggyback module, whatever the hell it's called, for HDZero. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that thing will work with the HD60 S Plus Elgato capture card thing. And goddamn if it doesn't. So this is now, I just used a battery strap to put a little battery on the back, and now I can just plug it in there to fire this thing up. This fucking works, bro. So I've now got a wireless HDZero set up to fly the HDZero Tiny Whoop in the house, which is really cool. And that, like, I'm not willing to spend the money, but if I was ever going to do a if I was ever going to go like all the way in on Walksnail and fly Walksnail on the live streams a lot, I would get one of those piggyback Walksnail things and do that same thing, because like it's always a pain in the ass to have the cable hanging out of your goggles and be all like tethered in and whatnot. This is going to be super cool. I'll be able to just throw the HDZero goggles on my head and away we go. I also just noticed, I just remembered that I don't have any antennas on the top of the HDZero goggles, which is not good. I wasn't using HDZero in here. I was just using them as analog goggles, so I took a couple of the antennas off to make it a little bit lower profile when I put it in my bag. But now that I'm using them as HDZero goggles, I should put the antennas back on top. Although I guess it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just going to be flying around the house, and it's not going to hurt the goggles because HDZero is not transmit and receive, right? It's the VTX. It's just like analog where the VTX transmits, and that's that. So that's good. I didn't hurt the goggles by doing it, but there we go. Now these goggles will work even better. Although you won't know because your feed will be coming through that OG thing. What's that thing called that hangs off the front? What's the word for it? For the life of me, I can't remember it. Backpack works. Backpack module works, right? Yeah, VRX. Yeah, receiver, I guess. I thought there was a specific name for it. Piggyback or something like that, isn't that it? Okay. So let's get this 1S stack out of here. 1S Walksnail stack. For the record, I'm going to start calling this the stack. This is now to be known as the Tiny Whoop stack because it's all stacked up. And if you want to do some motor testing, buy a bunch of extra frames, bolt your motors down into all the frames, and then you unplug 4 motor plugs, you remove 4 screws, you take your stack out of one, you drop it in the other. It is the best way. One of the most important things about testing motors is that you run one set of motors and then you, as quickly as possible, run the other set of motors. And unscrewing 12 screws and then fighting with the motors to get them rotated just right and then bolted back down, it just takes too long. By the time you've done that, backpack. All right, cool. Yeah, it just takes too long. This is the way. I've tried all different ways of reducing that amount of time, and this is definitely the way. Buy a bunch of extra frames; they're cheap, and then you have extra frames too when you eventually break the frames. So here you go. I'm not going to replace. Well, I actually can't replace this propeller because I don't have any more. This was the second or third. I think this was the third one. No, this is the second one of these that I broke today, and I don't have any extras. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But Meteor 75 Pro frame with BetaFPV 1102s and 3 out of 4 propellers. So this is 20.06 grams. Let's just say 20.1 grams. All right. So 20.1 grams for this setup. Same exact thing, but in a regular set, but in the 75 airframe, 17.2 grams. So 17.2 versus 20.1. 3 gram difference. It also moves the motors out a little bit, which, you know, affects the way that it flies. I thought it was more of a difference than that. But yeah, every gram counts, right? 3 grams on a 25 gram rig is 3, 6, 9, 12%. That's a 12% difference. Blow that up to a 600 gram 5-inch rig, right? 12% is 12, 24, 48, number bigger than 48, 60-ish, 60-ish extra grams. That's ridiculous. A 600 gram rig going to 660 grams, that is going to be a drastic difference. Everybody is going to be able to feel that difference. And your power to weight ratio is going to change. Your run times are going to get shorter. And yeah, it's going to feel different in the air. So don't discount 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 grams on a Tiny Whoop. always think about the percentages, right? A 20-gram rig that goes to 21 grams, that is a big percentage change. Denzel says, show us your thingamajig. What's that? This? It's just a Fat Shark battery strapped to a HDZero backpacked VRX with little buddies. Aren't I a clever bastard? No? Oh well. It's worth a shot. All right. I like these 1102s. Last thing I'll say about this setup. I like these 1102s a lot on the Walksnail setup because they're the sort of like the biggest motor available. The extra 6+ grams of Walksnail puts a lot of extra heat into the motors, and the 1102s are a bigger can, and they're going to be able to deal with that extra heat. So like with the 1102s, what you'll notice is like they just don't overheat as much. They make a little bit of extra power versus the 1002s, but the biggest thing is that they stay a little bit cooler. And you can tell that by the fact that you get better runtime with the 1102s. The 1102 22,000s versus the RC and Power 1002 22,000s, you get a little bit more power and a little bit more runtime. And that right there is like damn near proof positive that the bigger motor is staying cooler. It could be that the bigger motor has a tighter air gap, or it could be a number of different things. But if a bigger, heavier motor is getting more runtime, something is going on. All else being equal, that should never happen. The heavier setup should never get better runtime. So something's going on there. And you know, don't ignore that. I kind of ignored that for a little bit, and then when I really thought about it, I was like, wait a second, this is an easy decision to make which motors to go with on this setup. So yeah, BetaFPV 1102 22,000s are a really good motor, one of the best tiny whoop motors that's available. Really, really impressive. I've had a tough time in the past with them from a durability standpoint, but lately I've not had any issues. So could have been a fluke. Could have been just like I crashed them really weird. This was kind of back in the day of like with the tiny lifters. And the tiny lifter is a weird rig, man. It's using the Cockroach 75 frame with a carbon fiber brace, so that's always going to be really hard on the motors. Anytime you mount a tiny whoop motor to carbon fiber, its durability goes completely out the window. It's brutal. And so, yeah, I may have sort of unfairly judged the 1102s. But yeah, I'm running them on a bunch of rigs now. I've put a bunch of batteries through them recently. Not quite enough to be all in on them in terms of durability, but they have a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, which is mega. So yeah, I've been having good luck with them lately. I'm going to be flying them quite a bit on this 1S rig because it's a blast to fly. And I have a whole bunch of these 1S batteries. And I also want to do some gorilla whooping stuff with this thing, man. This is super quiet and super competent. So, like, I want to take this thing to the fucking Mall of Georgia and, like, all over the place and get some 1080, 60 tiny whoop, gorilla whoop footage. I want to get. I'm bolting these down. I'm bolting this this stack down here because I want to get you guys an all up weight on this thing. When you do this build, you have to hold this thing up like this and make sure that the stack is level. If the stack is not level, if you tighten the right side screw too much or the left side screw too much, the stack will sit sideways and your camera will be sideways. And Jesus hell ass is it hard to fly with a camera that is either rolled to one side or yawed a little bit. It makes being accurate in flying almost impossible. It's one of the worst things about the fractal frames is that they just do not hold, they do not solidly mount the camera in a way that it's going to point straight ahead and not be rolled to one side. And that is really, really tough to fly when it's like that. If you've got a rig that like all of a sudden your flying is like out the window and you can't figure it out, I bet you your camera is somehow shifted off to the side a little bit. It is incredible how much of an effect that has. It's crazy. What's this thing weigh? Dry. So yeah, I think this is the final form until another motor comes out of the 1S Walksnail 75mm build. I think this is really it. It is 32.35 grams all up. Sorry, not all up, dry. So it's a fatty, but it's a Cinewoop, basically. This is a incredibly quiet, fly it absolutely anywhere. Nobody will get upset with you flying it. It looks like a kid's toy. It sounds like a kid's toy. Everybody's going to think it's a kid's toy. Smallest Cinewoop ever. Half decent runtime if you're flying it like a Cinewoop, which is not the way that you saw me just flying it, right? Like that, flying these things hard in the front and backyard, like that's me testing them. Like this, when I go out to fly this for real, it's not going to be like hard freestyle. It doesn't do a great job with that. The 2S rig is the build for that. This is the ultra quiet, ultra tiny Cinewoop. That's what this thing is going to do really well. Flying this thing super hard, freestyle, you're going to chew through the batteries really quick, and it just doesn't quite have the power to weight ratio that you're going to want for like super hardcore freestyle flying. That's where the 2S rig is really going to shine. I had to pull one of these motors off because I have the newbie drone connector. This must have been my extra motor that I'd set up to use on the tiny lifters, because they use newbie drone AIOs on them. So I actually have to pull this motor apart and swap the battery lead on it, which is super annoying, but welcome to FPV. So yeah, there you guys go. There's your installment of 75mm info for this live stream. I'm actually going to be taking the, when I get the ORT antennas, I'm going to be taking the TrueRC Ultra Short out of this rig. Since this is like a fly anywhere kind of Cinewoop rig, I'll be flying this up above my head, where the antenna head being right on top of the PCB is really bad. And I've already run into it with this rig. When I fly this thing up above the roofs, like in that flight footage I was showing you earlier, when I would fly this thing up above the rooftops, the ELRS signal was totally fine, but Walksnail started beeping and freaking out, and lighting the borders up in red, because I was getting to the point where I was going to lose the video signal. Yeah, you do not want an antenna, a rig that you're going to fly above your head, basically, often. You don't want to do the really, admittedly, really cool setup of tucking a TrueRC ultra short singularity antenna up into the Mobula 6 upside down ball sack canopy. Having the head of the antenna literally sitting right against a PCB with copper layers just kills the performance when you basically do that, which is what you do when you fly above your head, right? If it's like this and there's just pretty much air between the head of the antenna and your goggle antennas, it's going to perform really well. So when you're flying down low, like I do with the RC car chasing rigs, right? These guys, the TrueRC Ultra Short is perfect because I fly them an inch off the ground all the time. But for something like this that you're going to fly outside or in a mall or wherever, where you're going to go up above your head, if you're looking at it like this and you fly up above your head, so you're like flying it away from yourself, and then you go, and so when you're flying it away from yourself, you're fine. There's the antenna, there's your goggles. But as soon as you go up above your head, now you've got the antenna completely hidden by a whole bunch of layers of copper in the VTX and the AIO. And that just destroys the antenna's ability to get the signal to your goggles. And so going over, even like going to a whip antenna that's going to get the active element out here, when you fly up above your head, it's still good, right? You can still see it. You can still see it. You can still see it. Eventually you can hide it, right? Like it's hidden right now, but then there it is again, right? You got it. You got just air between you. So there's only like like right now, but then we're good here. Right now it's bad, but then we're good again. It's all about getting the active element of the antenna away from anything. This is why we don't run these antennas inside of carbon fiber frames, right? You got to get the active element of the antenna as far away from the things on board that are dense enough to block that signal as possible. And the farther away that you get it, the less often it's going to be completely hidden from your view, from your antenna's view, basically, right? See what you know what I mean when I say that? And so yeah, the micro V antennas do a great job with that, right? Again, flying away from yourself, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. Right now it's bad, but then just rotate it a little bit more and you see the antenna there on the bottom. Now you're good again. Good, 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 right? All the way around. So keep that in mind. That makes a big difference. The quality of your antenna is not nearly as important as the placement of your antenna. All of the long range guys will back me up on that. Antenna placement is the most important thing to getting good range, to getting good video quality, especially out of analog rigs. It's a little bit less important on digital rigs, but it's still super important if you're looking to kind of push range. So yeah, this Pro 75 Pro frame setup is going to get this heavy BetaFPV. This is, you know what, I'm building a Meteor 75 Pro here. I'm going to see if I have one of these canopies in black so that it all matches up, although the black and white thing's kind of cool looking. But yeah, I'll be ultra nerdy and try to match everything up. And then I think I am going to get some more of these 45 millimeter HQ ultralights and see how they survive with 6 less grams with this analog setup versus that Walksnail setup. So yeah, coming soon, more 75 Pro. I really dig the way that the BetaFPV 75 Pro, in terms of like an outdoor tiny whoop right now, I think the Meteor 75 Pro is one of the best setups that you can get. It really impressed the hell out of me before I put it on the Etsy store and somebody bought it yesterday or today. Okay, so this needs the motors to get set, spun in the right direction. Let me see if I can reproduce the motors going full throttle bug to prove it to you guys. I doubt it. But I need to do this anyway, and if I don't do it right now, I will 100% forget to do it, and it only takes a second. And I would love to reproduce this bug so that you guys don't think that I'm full of shite. Motor direction. Also, I have had more and more and more and more of these not changing the motor direction. Let's see if this is one of them. Nope, this one is changing the motor direction. But yeah, more and more often, I'm clicking these and it's not actually changing the motor direction, and I'm having to go into ESC configurator to change the motor direction. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, that's been happening more and more. And it even happened earlier on a rig that's on 4.5.1. So yeah, again, that is not a bug that is limited to Betaflight 4.3, as I had heard from a bunch of people that it was. So careful, friends. Take them props off. Unless it's a silly little tiny whoop, then you're probably okay. So yeah, this thing is good to go. I'll fly this a little bit tomorrow, so I have some extra flight footage for Friday. Tonight, the main thing that we're doing, though, is seeing how deep of a wormhole gets ripped in the fabric of space and time by a tiny whoop with 40,000 kV motors that only weighs 16 point something grams. And I'm very excited. And we're also going to compare it to a totally standard Air65 with which motors? With the higher kV motors, the 27,000 kV motors, which is kind of perfect. So yeah, first and foremost, let's take a look at the dry weight on these two. It should be pretty close, but I think the regular old Air65 is in the 17s, right? Yes, 17.2 grams for the Air65, and then my custom Ultimate Air65 is 16.84 grams. Call it 16.8. So about a half a gram difference. But the big thing is going to be 28 or 29,000 or 27,000, whatever the hell I just said, kV versus 40,000. So it should be pretty noticeable. I do have to get this one bound. Let me do that right now. That should be all I need to do, though. Nope, I'm gonna have to change a couple things in Betaflight, but that's all right. I'm very behind on chat. Let me go up to the top and start to get caught up. FPV Luke says, "Have a good stream, dude." This one's at 3 a.m. for me, so I'm not gonna make it. Hopefully you're watching on repeat, and hopefully you got a good night of sleep, FPV Luke. It's the oldest man thing I've ever said. Adam Weston says, "Who else is working on an HDZero AIO tonight?" Yo, yeah. Call it out in the chat. Are you working on a... who else got the HDZero AIO 5? CMYK says, "What's good, Gangly Gang? Listening and cooking some grub." Very cool. Thrash FPV says, "Even a 2S 2-inch can cut the hell out of you. Ran pre-arm on anything other than whoop that day on." Yeah, that's a good point. Anything like 2S and up, it's a whole different world. 1S, I think you're really good to go. But 2S and up, they'll cut you. Thrash says, "It's very unfortunate DJI doesn't have throttle rates you can adjust on the Avata 2. Do you think they would ever add it?" I doubt it. Because it's not easy to set Throttle Expo, right? Like, Throttle Expo is relatively difficult to set up, especially because it changes. Like, how fast you're flying changes that center point that your throttle is at, and you can make the situation worse with Throttle Expo if you don't have that center point dialed in. DJI probably has enough engineers to figure out like a way of moving the Throttle Expo a little bit, like set it up so that it like averages your throttle usage over the last like 2 or 3 seconds and then moves the midpoint there. There's a chance though that could be a disaster. That could feel like ass in flight. So maybe that's a terrible idea. I don't know. But yeah, I doubt that you'll ever see it from them, or anybody really, because again, it's a difficult thing to really dial in. Thus, my having an entire live stream about it, right? I'm getting this guy bound. Oh my god, I love 3 plug-in binding. Can we please have 3 plug-in binding on everything forever? Like that, it's good to go. Push the button. Good to go. What's wrong with that? Why do fuck this? No, never mind. I was gonna say fuck the password whatever binding stuff. That is kind of cool, but the 3 plug thing. Come on now. Everything ELRS should have that 3 plug setup. Let's just be real. It's just so easy, and it just works. You don't have to think about it. Plug it and unplug it 3 times. Great, done. When are you ever going to plug and unplug 3 times in a row quickly by accident, right? And even if you do, whatever, it won't arm. You'll pull power one more time, put power back to it, and then an alarm. And you're fine. All's right with the world. Here we go. Regular old Air65. Let me just go through Betaflight and make sure. So this is the one that EVA-FPV was borrowing for a little while. And so I just want to go through here really quick and make sure that there's nothing weird in here that's different from the way that I have it. I have my setups. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. So well, hold on. PID profile 1. PID profile 1 is the one that it shipped with. Profile 2 is the one that I set up. Okay, good. Rate profile. It looks like I already put my rates back on it, so that's great. Filters will be fine. Receiver. Okay, I must have already come in here and did this because I know that EVA is on AETR. So I think I already came in here. Yeah. This is all set up for me. Okay, cool. So I already did everything here, but since I'm here, let me just click through. If anybody's wondering what all of my settings are, you can just go back and pause. But don't just steal someone else's settings. Figure them out for yourself. It's worth it. Okay, cool. So this guy's good to go. I believe that I have set this thing up as well. But we might as well take a quick look. Betaflight is opened. I'm sort of curious. I think I might have motor limited this down a little bit. It's probably a good idea. Oh, maybe I haven't set this up. Okay. So let's calibrate. Let's accelerate the calibrometer first. And then, well, let's check that it nose down, nose up, left, right, yaw left, yaw right. Okay, cool. So that's all good. Ports will be fine because it's an AIO. Oh, yeah, okay. Apparently I haven't done. Oh, it's not a BMI 270. That's pretty cool. We can turn off the barometer. Well, you guys will get to see a full Betaflight setup from me. LED strip is turned on. That's interesting. Why? Let me take a look. Maybe it's using addressable LEDs. That would be the only reason to have that LED strip turned on. Nope, no addressable LEDs. So this does not need to be turned on. OSD is on, air mode is on. Great. We're going to turn on D-Shot beacon so that we have a beeper. And save and reboot. Timon says, any chance you could do a demo of launch control? Yeah, for sure. Never mess with it, but it's always there for funsies. Yeah, it's super simple. Just turn it on, and mess around with it. I'll show you for sure, but it's super simple. Just Mo says, how you doing, man? I'm good. How about you? Tiny Shark FPV says, made a mistake of building a Meteor 75 Pro analog. Now I don't even touch my 75mm 2S Walksnail anymore. Not sure it flies better, but I enjoy flying it a lot more. Maybe because it's cheaper. Yeah, it is. You just like don't care about it. It's just like whatever. Smash it into everything. Rail it around the yard. Who cares? The extra $90 of Walksnail is real, right? That adds like 50% to the cost of a Tiny Whoop. And that's not nothing. Oh yeah, I have not set this thing up at all. Okay, so we're doing a full setup here. All right. What? Get out of here. Okay, a little bit of deadband. There we go. Looks like it's not even bound. I didn't even bind the damn thing. What am I doing? All right, hold on. All right, binding. Let's give it a second here. There it is. We is bound. Down and left. What's happening with the yaw? Now we're good. Top right. Okay, good to go. Aux 1, 2. Beautiful. All right. Save that. And now we're going to go into the modes tab. We got to set them up. Aux 1. Wait, what do I do? Do I go up for arm? No, I go down for arm. Wait, how do I arm? I go up. Wait, no. Do I go down for arm? Hold on. What do I do? Do I go up for arm or down for arm? Why don't I know this? think I go here. No, I usually set it up here, right? No. It's over there. There we go. I'll know the first time I go to arm it whether or not I'm like, wait, this is weird. Something's wrong. Horizon mode all the way up in case I lose video. I flip that on and just add throttle and fly above whatever made me lose video. Beeper aux 3 in the all the way down switch position. Black box. Does this thing have black box? I don't. It does. It does have black box. So we're going to go aux 2 in the switch all the way towards me direction. FPV angle mix. No, we're good there. Black box erase. Flip over after crash. Yes. We're going to go aux 3 and leave it in the middle. That's great. And then here's our launch control. We're going to do aux 2 just in the middle switch position. So basically, you put the switch in the position that for launch control, you arm the quad and it's in launch control, and you just push roll forward. It's a pitch forward, and it'll pitch forward and then it'll stay. And that's it. That's launch mode. I think it does it on all the axes. You just push it and it stays there. It doesn't return back to nothing. That's all launch control does. Super fun. No reason not to try it. It only activates when you disarm and then rearm, and like sometimes you don't even notice it because you don't usually push roll or pitch when you've just armed. You just add throttle and it flies away. And so usually like every time I arm a quad, it's in launch control, but I don't even notice it because either I use it or I just take off with the throttle and it's like it's not even there. Adjustments, I'm going to do the crazy 3 different thingy OSD setup that I always do. It's just that easy. Motors tab, we want props in. Great. D-Shot 300, bidirectional. Nope, we want 12 magnets. Save and reboot. I don't think I have the motor spinning the right direction, so let's take care of that next. And connect, and motors, and motor direction. I understand the risks. Wizard, start and spin. It did not go full throttle. That's great. Motor 1 is correct. Motor 2 is incorrect. 3 is incorrect. That means that 4 is going to be correct. Let's see if the motors actually reverse. Hey, they did. Awesome. Motors are all set to go. OSD, I'm going to pull from a file that I have over here with all my specific OSD stuff. Look at that weird OSD that BetaFPV put in there. Huh, that's interesting. That is not standard Betaflight. All right, that is my OSD in the CLI commands. Connect, oops, here. And let's just check it. Yep. All is well. Great. Let's look at the post-flight stats. Actually, no, let's pull that capacity down to 300. Post-flight stats. Nope, I don't want timer 2. I want timer 1. Turn off speed maximum. RSSI minimum is a good one. Link quality minimum is another good one. G-force maximum is fun. ESC temperature maximum is a cool one. ESC RPM maximum is a great one. Turn off black box. Turn off black box. You don't need to see that in the post-flight stats. Battery voltage minimum is another good one. Current battery voltage is a good one. MAH used is a good one. Battery current draw maximum is a good one. Awesome. Post-flight stats are now pimped the fuck out. This is all, since it's an AIO, like just good to go, but I am going to turn on low power disarm on until first arm, and you should too. 25 milliwatts is perfect for around the house. Don't touch anything else. Let's click save it. And I just locked it. I didn't lock it, but just told it that I'm going to be on race band 8. Black box, let's set that to 1K is fine. And then we want gyro scaled. There it is. Save and reboot. That is a full Betaflight setup, my friends. Now we are going to go into ESC configurator. and see what's what. Why is it? That's weird. It doesn't usually do that. Read settings. Transmitter is turned on. I'm going to need to turn that off. Blue Jay 0.19, 96 kilohertz. We definitely don't want that. This is AX5. I think I have a Blue Jay 0.16 that's AX5. Let's take a quick look. Downloads, and I'm going to sort these by name. AX5, where are you at? Nope, apparently not. No AX5 in 0.16. That's okay. Blue Jay 0.21 seems to be pretty good, and then we're going to do 48K PWM. Hit flash. While that's going, I'm going to take a quick look. AX5 is what I'm looking for, right? Let's see. Nope, no AXs at all in the old suppository of Blue Jay 0.16. Yes, I know it's the wrong word. In the chat, Tiny Sharks, oh no, we got that. Thrash says, the setup you're taking apart is the Walksnail 75mm. Yes, it was. CiottiFPV says, I'll say it, Walksnail needs to be on 2S to get runtime and power. It is what it is, lol. For freestyle, absolutely. For Cinewoop, cruisy kind of flying, 1S works. And it's unbelievably quiet, and like you can use some of the same batteries that you've already got. It's super interesting on 1S, but for freestyle, for hard flying, yeah, for sure, 2S really does a good job covering all the extra, the 6+ grams of extra weight. Just Mo says, whenever I start flying my 5-inch quads really hard, my props literally blow up. I've had it happen to 5 to 10 times this summer, and I have no idea why. Stop running those propellers. HQ is notorious for making propellers lighter and lighter and lighter and more fragile and more fragile and more fragile until they're like kind of a pain in the ass for freestyle flying. The J series of props has been like that for me. Every single time that I crash, a propeller gets so bent up that it's barely flyable to come home, or an entire blade breaks off. Like they're just, you almost can't crash with them. GemFan seems to do a much better job. Maybe their polymer is better, but I have a feeling it's just their designers doing a better job not going so aggressively lightweight that the propeller is like a ticking time bomb that's going to just completely implode every single time you crash. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to turn the startup power up just a little bit because I'm probably going to need to anyway. So let's do that. And then we're going to go to 1S. Beacon delay of 2 minutes. Turn the beep strength up a little bit so that you can actually hear it. And that's pretty much it. Right settings. And we are good to go. So there you go, friends. There's one partial, but one full Betaflight setup for you, in case you were wondering how I do that. Don't just blindly set shit up the way that I do. I have some... actually, I missed one thing. I have to go into the presets real quick. I have some specific settings that I do to add a bunch of stick smoothing because I have a little bit of jank in my thumbs and a little bit of like, yeah, my fingers are not as smooth as I want my flight footage to be. And so I do some things that put stick smoothing in there that make the rig feel worse, but they make the footage look better. You probably don't have a YouTube channel with people watching your footage. You're probably just flying for fun. And if you're flying for fun, who gives a shit what your flight footage looks like? Set the rig up with tons of feed forward so that it's as if it's reading your mind, and you're going to have more fun flying. So yeah, don't just blindly copy anyone's settings. It's a bad idea. Express LRS 250 And then we're going to go HD Freestyle. That has just the right amount of stick smoothing, in my opinion. And that's the main thing that I wanted to do in the presets. HDZero is good to go. I'm sorry, not HDZero. ELRS is good to go. Yeah, that's it. That's all I was missing. Cool. Away we go. Oh, I forgot to hold on. I forgot to set the gates up. Hold up. 1 second. Hingis. Hingy. All right. There we have it. That's better. Oh boy, I think I hear a tiny schnauzer. I think I hear the most miniature of schnauzers. All right, people. We are going to fly. First, we are going to fly the completely stock BetaFPV 65 Air. This is a prototype. The VTX that's built into this, between the prototype and the production, the VTX got a lot better. So do not judge the Air65 based on this prototype. This is also, they sent me 2 prototypes. After I was done flying them, I gave them to EVA FPV so that someone would continue to put crashes into them for more durability data. When I was like, yo, can I get one of those back because I put my production one into the dog bowl and killed it, she told me that one of them, the VTX, works a lot better than the other. And I was like, just give me the one with the shitty VTX. Like, I'm just going to be using it around the house here, and I got really good antenna placement, and it's totally fine. And I would rather her have the one that actually works better. And so, yeah, this is the one with the worst VTX. This does not represent the production VTX, all right? That's important. I need to turn on the analog VTX and off the HD VTX. And cool. I'm gonna run a okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I have 2 of these Lava 260 mAh batteries charged. I'm gonna run these first, and then I'm gonna run a 300 mAh battery on this, and then we're gonna move over to the 40,000 kV Chaos rig, and we're gonna run all 300 mAh batteries on this. These motors, being lower kV, are not going to demolish these 260 mAh batteries. These 40,000 kV motors would light these batteries on fire and dance on top of their graves. So yeah, I've been meaning to discharge these batteries. Let's just run it. This is also going to these batteries are going to give this rig the best possible chance to perform really well, because they're going to bring the weight down a little bit. So yeah, let's run these 260s first. They won't last very long, but yeah, they do work, as you'll see. You can run these, and the reduction in weight is real. Like it flies great with these. It's actually really nice. The new crop of ultra lightweight tiny whoops with the low kV motors on these 260 mAh batteries, it's really good. It's really, really good. I don't need to use the HDZero goggles. I can use my trusty old Fast Sharks. Are we bound over here? Should be, right? Yeah. It flies! Look at us go. All right, so here we go. Air65, just to get a little bit of a baseline here. And again, this is the prototype without the final version of the VTX. I didn't mean to do that, but that was pretty cool. So, as you can see, oh boy, there was a big old correction that I had to make with roll there, and I didn't think I was going to get it through that gate, but I got a little lucky. There ain't nothing wrong with the way this thing flies, man. The Air65 and the Mobula 6 2024 are awesome out of the box. Really, really impressive. The Mobula is very upgradable, much more so than the Air65, in my opinion, mainly just because it has motor plugs, right? The link quality is really low. Or no, it's not the link quality. It's the RSSI that's really low. I wonder what's going on there. But I'm not getting any micro failsafe, so it's fine. Oh, that was... Crash prevention really saved me on that one, but... I didn't think it was going to. And so I bailed and disarmed like a chump. Hey! And there's the end of that 260 mAh battery. Almost. We got another couple of seconds here. Come on. Here's the table full of stuff that's going up on Etsy soon. It's actually a set of V1 DJI goggles that are going to go up. If anybody's looking to get into old school DJI on the cheap. Minute and 51. Not too bad. Oh. On a... if I switch this over to Happy Model motors that make this same power, I'd be able to get this past 2 minutes. With the ultralight upgraded Mobula 6 2024 on these batteries, I get over 3 minutes sometimes, even when I'm railing around. The Happy Model motors are just incredibly efficient. Yeah, switch to different propellers, Just Mo. There's no reason that your prop should be blowing up like that. That's insane. And if that keeps happening, you're gonna lose that rig. So like, definitely move to a different propeller. That's absurd. Stuff with Caleb, we got that. ThrashFPV also says, does the OSD amp draw reading number for each ESC channel or overall? It's overall, and don't always trust it. Sometimes the scale is wrong. All right, here's the other 260. What do you think, Teddy? Hey! Uh-oh. So here's launch mode, right? It's on. I'm going to pitch forward. Well, with tiny whoops, they have a tendency to skitter across the carpet like that. But that's how it works. The switch position for launch control is on right now. I arm it, and it's in launch control. I push pitch forward. Oh, no, I moved the switch position. Sorry. There you go. And it just holds. That's how launch control works. And then you can pull it back down on the pitch, or you can pitch it backwards. I think you can even roll it. Yeah, you can roll it to the side, and it just holds. Hey! Oh, wow, this battery is not charged. That's okay. Well, wait, hold on. Let's, maybe it is charged, but it's the internal resistance is really high. Oh, God! Let me just run it for a second. Well, let's actually, all I have to do is pitch forward, and it puts you into the regular OSD, and just look at the battery voltage. See how it's only bouncing back to 3.65? This battery is truly dead. If you've got a battery with really high internal resistance, when you do that, pitch forward, you'll see that battery voltage go all the way up to like 4 volts or 4.1 volts, and then you fly it, and it sags all the way down to 3.5, 3.4, 3.3. That's a battery that's cooked. The internal resistance is too high. It's destined for the trash heap. This is not that case. This is a battery that I ran it. I probably plugged it into something to run, turn the Walksnail on or spin the motors up or whatever. All right. Air65 with a regular old 300 mAh battery, and then we're going to move to the wormhole rig. We're gonna Hold on, give me a second. I'll come up with something horrifying. We shall call this, since it's in the colors, since it's in the red and white colors, this is the CiottiFPV's wormhole rig. There it is. That's the official name for it. Hey, we're also going to change cameras here. This is the CO3 camera, the current camera, and then when we start flying the wormhole rig, it's going to be on the older BetaFPV camera. Let me know which one you guys like the best. Whoa, Teddy! Easy, buddy! Look at those ears wobble. He gets me every time. All right, so now this rig is a little bit heavier because of the 300 mAh battery, but the higher see the white balance changing. See how aggressively the white balance changes? Watch, ready when I go into the hallway. Right? That's what I don't like about this CO3 camera. The white balance change is just too noticeable. The video noise that you're getting, again, this is the prototype rig. The production one does not have that issue. This thing still flies great. There's nothing wrong with the way that this stock Air65 rig flies, but wait till you see the wormhole rig. Wait until you see it. Oh, let's go for the mega front flip. I missed it. Let's try it again. The mega front flip. There it is. Yeah. Oh no. Ooh, that. Where the hell am I? That was a weird crash. Okay, there I am. Hey. Oh, I missed it. Oh, come on now. Oh, so close. I need to... Oh, you bastard. I need to work more on the front flip back down through the cube. I do not hit that with any kind of frequency. All right, so we got over 2 minutes of runtime, but not by much. So you can really see those 260 mAh batteries are really good on these lightweight rigs. 2 minutes and 27. Pitch forward to get out of that, and you can see the voltage is bouncing back to 3.65. I ran this battery down a little bit more than I usually do, but yeah. That is the one main complaint that I have about the Air65, specifically when you compare it to the Mobula 6 rig, is that it's the runtime is just significantly less, like an entire minute less. Other than that, it's great. But yeah, there's a big difference in efficiency between the Happy Model motors and everyone else. Happy Model has some kind of magic unicorn dust that they sprinkle on their motors. That really make them outrageously efficient while also making great power. I will say this, though. If you compare a 28,000 kV Happy Model motor to a 28,000 kV BetaFPV motor, the BetaFPV motor makes more power. If you compare a 32,000 kV, for example, Happy Model motor to a 28,000 kV BetaFPV motor, the Happy Model motor will make more power and it will be more efficient. It's magic. So, there you go. This guy is also on GemFan 1219S propellers, which are the most powerful ultra lightweight propellers that there are. My wormhole rig is going. My wormhole is on for right now these HQ tries, which are significantly less pitchy. But we are going to be putting this onto biblades in a minute. I think it's worth it to try it on these crazy propellers, though. I've got 5 more batteries charged. Have you flown your 6 batteries today, my friends? If the answer to that is no, get your ass in gear and fly 6 batteries a day every single day, and you will get this good. I swear to God. Look, I don't fly 6 a day anymore. So if you start flying 6 a day and you actually do it every day, like, I shit you not, at some point you will get better than me. I promise you. I don't fly 6 a day every day. I try to do it on most of these live streams, which are 4 days out of the week. So I do fly a lot. But, like, straight up, if you start flying more batteries than I do, eventually you will get better than me. Hands down. Tiny Whoop with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Let me scroll down in the chat. Hold on. Let me leave myself a little marker here in the chat as to where I was. Oh, the marker just went away. Tiny Whoop with a $20 super chat. He says, texted you a selfie. I gotta know. I gotta know, man. I gotta know. Knowing Jesse, there's gonna be something either awesome or hysterical about. Look at these goddamn troublemakers. They're out gorilla whooping with the stream on their phone. That's so cool. What do you got? Where the hell are you guys? What is that? Is that like a little restaurant? Look at that little town center area. I'm so jealous that they're in Denver. I know that's Nightwing. I know that's Jesse. I think that's custom FPV in the middle there. Very cool, guys. You're the fucking best, man. You guys are the best. It is custom because I see him posting in the chat. All right, hold on. Let me get back to where I was in the chat. Wow, I'm way behind on chat. Holy hell. Let me make sure nothing's plugged in. Hold on. Oh, there's a little note I left myself. Thrash FPV says, oh, no, we got that. Nightwing says, about to go gorilla whooping with Jesse and custom. Very cool. I thought that was custom. Danzilla Terrible says, heyo. Siskel says, sub 250 0803 19,000s, 1.5mm shaft. The VCI 703 16,500s are my favorite for flight characteristics, just worried about durability. I have a set of those sub 250 803s. I've run a couple batteries through them. I wasn't super impressed. I am going to revisit them. Maybe the VCI 0703s will be the next set of motors that I try out on the 2S Walksnail rig. Great suggestion, brother. You're going to have to remind me of that, though, because I'm about to go completely crazy, and I'm also about to rip a wormhole through space and time with this thing. Denzel the Turbo says, show us your thingamajig again. Dan Jennings says, what are your thoughts on the carbon hybrid whoops like fractal and hachidorii? The fractal, stay away from, in my opinion. The hachidorii is actually really, really cool. I haven't tried it yet. I don't like the mounting these tiny whoop motors on carbon fiber. It really shows you how fragile the motor shafts are. But the hachidorii, I believe, has a much better way of mounting the camera. That's really the biggest problem with the fractal, is that the camera mounting setup is kind of a joke. And so, yeah, if I was going to do a carbon whoop, it would certainly be the hachidorii, and I would certainly recommend that for you as well. Again, all that being said, the carbon fiber frames really don't do well if you're going to crash. You are going to eat through motors, and it gets really annoying. So yeah, the plastic frames are where it's at, which is why everybody flies the plastic frames. Timon says, when I arm one of my 65mm builds, it starts bouncing until I take off. Is my idle too high? No, you just have aggressive PIDs. That's fine. Once you're up in the air, it stops bouncing, and we spend most of our time up in the air. So yeah, that's just the when it bounces down, the PID loop kind of gets confused because it wants to be in the air. And so when it hits the ground, it's like an unexpected thing, and the PID loop is like, oh my god, what do I do? I might as well add a bunch of power, and so it bounces, and then it's okay, and so it cuts the power, and then it hits the ground again, and it goes whoa, and it bounces up again, and so it just that's pretty normal. Siskel FPV says, my 2S is only 30.5 grams. I'm not sure what mine is. I've got really heavy motors on it right now, but with these big old 1102s, Jesus, mine's heavy. 36.85. But again, these are heavy motors. So yeah, yours is very light. All right. And Kevin the Alien says, so if an 802 is barely enough for a 40mm prop, what would you recommend for the 45mm? 1002, 1102? Yep, both. Either the 1002 or the 1102. Elliot D says, I bought GemFan 1635 tri-blades for my Mobula 7, and I'm experiencing insane amounts of oscillating. Yep, get rid of those propellers. What might be causing this problem? Thanks. Yeah, get rid of those propellers. The GemFan 1610 biblades are what you want. They're the best balanced props. Also, like, you know, when you make a change to the rig and it starts oscillating, just whatever change you made, undo that change, right? I know that seems like super basic, but like, we think that just because we've paid money for something that it's going to work. That is not true in FPV. There are a number of products, many of which are from HDLRC, that just don't work right out of the box. I know it seems insane, but welcome to FPV. So yeah, in FPV, even if other people are running it and it seems okay for them, if you change something and it starts screwing up, just undo that change. And like whatever that change was, you can either dive in and try to research what was going on, or just be like, nope, it's fine. I just won't make that change again. Thrash FPV says, when might you want to lock horizon when stabilizing footage for a client? Always, really. I always give clients the raw footage as well as horizon locked stabilized footage. Any client that you're working for is almost certainly going to be mixing your flight footage in with static camera footage, and static camera footage has the horizon leveled. Editors have a really hard time integrating FPV footage in with static camera footage. When we fly, we give them shit that is so high action, so high impact, and that is really hard to mix in without it being jarring. The biggest problem that we have in FPV as working pilots is that we work with a client a couple of times and their editor, or maybe they're the editor, has a really hard time using the footage, and then they look at like how many thousands of dollars they've spent for footage that they use for like 2 seconds in an edit, or sometimes not at all. And so a lot of times we'll work with a client for like 2, 3, 4 gigs in a row, and then that's it, because like they just can't afford to pay all this money for footage that they barely use. This is why like it kind of makes sense to go after the higher end clients, because they tend to be the clients that know what FPV is. They're not just bringing you on because you're the coolest guy in town or whatever. They know what it is. They've planned it out. They probably have storyboarded it in, and then there's a much better chance of them, or they're planning the entire thing around FPV. And so, yeah, there's that. Zach says, I bought your 75 Pro last night. Very cool, Zach. Around 3 a.m. What's the first trick I should learn on it? Just started doing power loops outside of the sim. Power loops are bread and butter. Is a really good bread and butter move. I would say power loops and split S's. Those are the first two that you really want to dive into. Those are also moves that will... That movement works well in a bunch of different ways. So like really learning power loops and split S's will... those two things will branch off into a lot of other stuff that you can do. So they're a really, really, really good starting point. Curtis, thank you for buying it, man. Very cool. You're going to love it. Curtis Hayes says, it's going to rip a 1S battery out of space and time. Curtis Hayes says, are you going to motor limit the 40K down at all? No, just because, you know, for the culture. Just for the clickbait, really. I'm not going to motor limit it down. But that's also why I'm going to be putting it onto biblades pretty much after this first battery. Curtis Hayes says, you do not need sim time if you fly 6 batteries a day. If you do sim, what's the best tiny whoop sim? I don't know what the best tiny whoop sim is. Velocidrone, to me, is the most accurate sim in terms of physics. And they do have tiny whoops in there. So that would be my blanket kind of statement. Simming is great. It's very different from flying for real. If you had to pick either flying 6 tiny whoop batteries a day or flying the sim, I would mix it up. I think I would mix it up, and do like one off, one on. Um, the sim. What you want to remember about the sim is that the better you get, the less valuable the sim is. I think. Because the better you get, the more that like real world physics are going to affect you, mainly in like the throw and the momentum of your rigs. None of the sims can really nail that down because it's super hard. The aerodynamic situation that these things have in the real world is brutal. And so yeah, when you're like early days, the sim is everything. And then as you get better and better and better, 6 months, a year, 2 years, you're going to want to back off on the sim and lean more into flying for real. Even tiny whoops, because tiny whoops are still in real space with real physics. So yeah, there's your answer. Thrash says, let's accelerate the calibrometer should be on a t-shirt. It really should. CMYK, you still in here? Can you, what cool graphic could we... Maybe just the button from Betaflight or like the Betaflight logo. Oh man, that's a great idea. Stuff with Caleb says, I have a spare Walksnail light. I'm looking to make a drift RC rig. What parts are you using, or what would you suggest? Super simple. Cockroach V3 frame, Batwing mount over on my Discord in the 3D printing channel. 702. 32,000 kV motors, or 36,000, or even 28,000, 30,000, somewhere in there. That's pretty much it. Oh, BetaFPV 5 amp cross style AIO. That's the whole build. Striker says, everything well with the stream. Is the reality Terry? No, I haven't flown it yet. Striker also says, any prop recommendations for 2207 2080 kV? Thoughts on the Pacer 2207s in 2080? I haven't flown that motor, so I'm not sure, but that's a ton of kV, and 2207s are huge, so it's going to make an assload of power. Props are a very individual thing. You want to buy 2 sets of a bunch of different propellers and fly them all. Everybody crashes differently. Everybody's rigs weigh different amounts. And so propellers are incredibly specific to you. How much durability do you want? How lightweight do you want them to be? So yeah, get a bunch of different propellers, get at least 2 bags of each, and go out and fly them, and pay very close attention to the durability of the propellers. That is one of the biggest aspects, in my opinion, to which prop you should run. And get as new of a propeller as possible. The prop manufacturers really get better and better and better and better at making these the propellers, because again, the aerodynamic situation that these quads live in is wild. And so yeah, the newest propeller is almost always going to outperform even propellers from like a year ago. Kevin the Alien says, I finally got that cam working that you were interested in a few months ago. Give it another chance and figured it out. It's a PAL cam, and the HDZero goggles needed a setting changed. Interesting. Kevin the Alien also says, I'll be putting up some cam comparisons at some point soon. Very cool. I can't wait to see that. Rybread says, why so noisy? You feel like your video is usually better. I talked about it a little bit ago. I was flying. That was a prototype rig. They fixed the VTX for the production model. So yeah, prototype life is why it looked bad. The rig we're about to fly, when I get a little bit more caught up on the chat, is the production 5-in-1. You'll see an improvement in video quality. 661 says, Tiny Whoop sent you a picture he wants you to share. Thank you, dude. Thank you again, Tiny Whoop, for the very generous $20 super chat. All right, I'm almost caught up enough. Striker says, what AI do you recommend for a 3S build? I have no idea. I'm not the guy for that. Check out Quad66. He's your guy for that. 2.5-inch toothpick. What do you not like about fractal cam mounting? It just sucks. It doesn't positively locate the camera in a way that it won't do this or this. It's a bad camera mount. It's a bad camera mount for people that care about flying really accurately. If you just want to save weight, it's a great camera mount. It doesn't weigh anything. But it doesn't do a good job at locating the camera, and that is super important. I have had rigs where the cameras have gone off, and you fly horrible when that happens. Like I just had it happen today. Which rig was it? I forget which rig it was, but I had a cam. Oh, it was one of the RC car chasing rigs. Actually, the camera rotated a little bit when I was upstairs, and I could barely fly it. Just like I limped it home. All I wanted to do was get it back because I realized what happened, and I could barely just fly it down the stairs. Like it's that bad. It's nasty, and it had like 5 degrees of roll on the camera. It is wild, and the better you get, the worse it is, because the better you get as a pilot, the more you rely on leveling the horizon so that you can track absolutely dead straight all the time. So as like a really seasoned pilot, and again, the better that you get as a pilot, this will become more and more and more of a problem. Quite honestly, like a new pilot might not even notice it, but it is certainly there, and it is certainly going to make you fly horrible because, like, yeah, you're just, when you level the horizon, the damn thing is going to be sliding sideways, and that's like a great way to be confused and fly like ass. Having the camera yaw, which is the main problem with the fractal mount, is even worse because your center point is now over here. And so, like, you can level the horizon all the hell you want, and you think you're flying straight, but the damn thing's crabbing all around. It's crazy. CMYK says, what's that now? A shirt that says accelerate the calibrometer. I'm trying to think of like a visual that we could use. Tiny Shark FPV says, do you think 2105.5 motors are too big for a 3.5-inch freestyle rig? Yeah, way too big. The biggest you would really ever want to go on a 3.5-inch propeller is 2004, and even that's too big. 1804, 1604 is the sweet spot for 3.5. CMYK says, Chatbot FPV just put up a Whoop Cam Showdown video. Very cool. I'm not going to play it on here. You guys should click through and give him the view. Looks like he's reviewing the CO3 versus the Tiny Whoop Pinch. That's weird. Versus an HDZero camera. Although, wait, can't you use this eco camera on a regular analog thing? CO3 eco. Yeah, that's analog. Huh. Very cool. I feel like I heard about that, but I've never seen it. I can't wait to watch this after the stream. All right, I'm caught up on chat. We're gonna rip a wormhole through space and time. It's been nice knowing you guys. I am now the reason. I am now the destroyer, the literal destroyer of worlds. Here it comes. Flat spot towards me. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I'm bordering on being scared for my actual life. Yeah. I know, Transmitter. I know. You've been on. I left you on. That was mean of me. I apologize. Flat part of the BT 2.0 towards me. Here it is. Fresh 300 mAh battery. Teddy, you don't want to be anywhere near this one, my little furry friend. You really don't. Teddy, go out in front of it at least so I can see you. Teddy, get... Teddy. Stop it. He's leaning so hard on me. Oh! All right, we have a slight oscillation problem. Oh my god. Okay, I know I'm turning the PIDs up, but I want the P to D ratio that I want. I'm now gonna turn the master multiplier down. Okay. Oh boy, that was okay. Let's try this again. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay, we've still got some oscillations, but what I can tell you is that Jesus wept. That is absolutely outrageous. Yeah, this is absurd. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay. So, oh boy. Hold on. I'm just being... This is as gentle as I can be. Okay, this was a mistake. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Everybody do I not have my rates on here? What is... Okay, hold on. I don't... Wow. I feel like my rates aren't on here. Okay, they're not. Oh, thank God. All right, hold up. Jesus. All right, this does not have my rates on it. Thank God. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Let's fix this. And now it'll be a lot more flyable. I was going to say, like... I've flown these 40,000 kV motors on somewhat light rate rigs, but it's not like this. It hasn't been this touchy. All right. That's going to be much better. Let me also come up here and drop the center stick sensitivity down. Okay. Much better. I also don't have any throttle expo, which is definitely going to be a mistake, so let's just take a guess at 35 being the midpoint, and I'm going to add a whole bunch. All right. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, now we're talking. Okay. All right, so first things first, let's cool this guy off. All right, temperature came right down, which is great. But there's some jitteriness going on. And so let me just figure that out first. Let's check the tune. All right, so it doesn't look like it has any bounce back. It actually does have a little bit of bounce back. This is the old school. Oh my God. Okay. This is the old school BetaFPV camera, by the way. Whoa! Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let me just Yikes, man. This is woo! What? What the hell? Okay, and that's on like a dead battery. Okay, hold the phone. Whoa! It's like I'm moving the throttle stick up as fast as I can, but like by the time I get it to full throttle, it's all the way on the other side of the. It's already on the other side of the roof. Hold on, I'm just this. Wow, this battery. We're just gonna try to adjust to the most aggressive power to weight ratio on any tiny whoop maybe ever. I'm sure that's not true. So, okay. All right, let me wipe my hands off because they are soaked with sweat. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is not great, but you know, 40,000 kV and all. Battery's not hot. All right, next battery. Here we go. Now we're gonna actually fly this thing. I think I'm gonna ignore the tune for the moment, and we are just gonna hammer this thing around. Wow. Okay. Let me just reset my brain a little bit. that is something completely different. My God, man. Okay. All right. Whoa, boy. All right, so let me dial in the throttle expo. Oh my God, it's cruising at 18% throttle. So that's, wow, that's 12, 14, 18, 20, 18, 17. All right, I'm gonna set the midpoint to 20. It's currently at 35, so it is making the throttle situation worse. So let's get that dialed a little bit more. I've never seen the cruising point so low. That is absolutely insane. It makes sense. These are the highest kV motors. Oh, that is so much better. Oh boy, is that so much better. Okay. Oh my gosh! Wow, I know what we have to do. The battery is fresh. Oh, we're doing it, friends. We're doing it. Hopefully the lights are on up here. Yes, the lights are on. Ready? Oh my god! Oh, Jesus! It climbs the wall instantly. Oh! Oh no. The floor is lava. No, no, no. The new shag carpet, the new shag rug is lava. All right, hold on. Teddy, 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 don't eat it. Why does it's so funny? Like, if it's not flying, he'll chase it all day. But as soon as it's up in the air, he's like, nah. Oh, did he slobber all over it? Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, he did. All right. So again, this is the old school camera. Anybody think it's better or worse than the CO3? I guess this is maybe the CO2. I don't know. Oh, much better. Oh, it's getting hot. This is the most difficult tiny whoop to fly. That, like, by a long margin. I've never flown a tiny whoop that's this hard. My cruising throttle is now a lot higher. That's what happens when you dial in the Expo. So now it's up to like 29 or 30, so I need to actually adjust it one more time. We're going to go into Profile, Rates, and we're going to split the difference, and we're going to go to 26. That's probably about right. Oh! A wild teddy appears. All right, we're going to go and tempt fate one more time. Oh, I got to pull these propellers off. Wow! Holy shit. Oh my god, all I ever have to do is, as quickly as I possibly can, ram the throttle up and down. Okay. What is happening? How could this be a real thing? Whoa, it eats that... The whole room becomes so small with this. Like, a normally gigantic room... Oh, no! Becomes very... a lot smaller. Oh, this is ridiculous. What? Okay. Let's get this onto biblades. This is way too much on these HQ ultralight tri-blades. Let's just take a breath. I'm gonna let my heart just have a minute to come back down to earth. Oh, whoa. that is ridiculous. I have had 40,000 kV motors on analog rigs that are like 18 grams before, and it's silly. It's stupid. You guys have seen it before. I've live streamed it. It's absolutely insane. It's very fun, and you should all get a set of the 40,000 kV motors. But they're flyable. Like they're somewhat realistic. This is just dumb. Like this makes no sense in any setting. It's too much for inside, and then outside it's just gonna massacre your batteries. But I mean, you're gonna have a lot of fun while you're lighting your batteries on fire. So you should do it. No, you should do the 40,000 kV motors on the heaviest setup that you've got, right? Like that's the point of the 40,000 kV motors, is that they make a ton of power for those heavier rigs, right? So like the both of my Walksnail 65 millimeter rigs, even though one of them is the RC drift car chasing rig, where you would think that I would want more throttle resolution. The reason the stream keeps stuttering like that is because the HD60S Plus is plugged in. The Elgato got something wrong on that thing, and it makes Max stutter. It's very annoying. I just unplugged it, so we're good. So yeah, the 40,000 kV motors, the best use of those motors is on your heaviest setup, not a 16 gram setup. This is absolutely, this is bordering on being like full blown unflyable. For most folks, this would be unflyable. No offense, it's already incredibly difficult to fly tiny whoops inside the house. This is dumb. This is straight lunacy. But you know, that sex sells, baby. Is the stream is still stuttering really bad? What's going on here? Wow, it's really nasty. Is it doing that all the time? What the hell? OBS, come on, man. What are you doing? Hold on. Oh god, the computer is losing its mind. What's happening, computer? Chrome, what are you doing, Chrome? Why are you taking up the entire everything? What the hell? Hold on. I'm gonna I kind of need to force. I hope it hasn't been like this for long. I'm gonna lose chat. Oh, there it goes. And we're back. Hey, that's better. That was weird. I have not quit and restarted Chrome in a while, though. So, hold on. It's coming back up. And we will see if I just lost all my tabs. I better not have. Restore, baby! Yes. Okay. And now the majority of the tabs are not going to load, so we should be better. Although, let's see. It's nasty right now because it is loading a couple things, but come on. Come on, smooth out. Smooth out, little buddy. Smooth out. Smooth out yet? There it goes. Oh, you know that's interesting. I was on... Oh, that's weird. No, there it goes. That's fine. I had a Google Doc opened. I thought having the Google Doc opened was causing it, but it's not. Okay, we good. We good. Now it's fine. Yep. Now we're good. Gemfan 1210. Biblades. What time is it? It's after 12 o'clock already. Holy crap. Here they are. I know I have 1,000 tabs open, but Chrome does a good job unloading, deloading. I don't know what the hell it is. But yeah, if you haven't looked at a tab in a while, it will like not waste any memory or CPU on that tab. I need a high right propeller, and then we are golden. There it is. Throw that one away. That one's all banged up. Okay. 1210 biblades to bring a little bit of sanity to the situation here. Oh man, I forgot that the man, is it nice that the 1210 biblades, the inner diameter is perfect, so you don't have to drill the damn things out. You just put them onto the motors and they're tight enough but not too tight. Oh, that is nice. All right, last one. All right, this should be a little bit better. Although I am going to have a little bit less grip, like it's going to be a little bit more slidey. But yeah, details. This battery might be hammered ass. Let's find out. You want to check if your batteries are healthy or not? Put 40,000 kV motors on. You'll find out real quick. Come on. There it is. Oh, look, a chicken. Look at that fucking face. Oh, I'm gonna destroy you, Teddy, so that no one else can I don't know. Why do we want to destroy things that are cute? So that nobody else can have them? Is that it? Is that the psychology behind that? This is all 300 mAh batteries. I wouldn't dare run a 260 or a 270 on these 40,000 kV motors. All right. There he is. There's our boy. Whoa! We got a growl on that one. Let's go right upstairs. Straight upstairs with the biblades. Oh, it feels nice on the biblades. Holy shit. The just explosion. Wow. That's just outrageous. Oh! It just hurtles across the room. All right, hold on. Ready? Wait. Do a high-speed run. What's the longest? Here it is. Oh! There's the wormhole, my friends. The wormhole just opened. Oh my god! It doesn't have much of a higher top speed than the 40,000s on the heavier builds. It's about the acceleration. Oh my god! Like, just the instantaneous acceleration of having this little weight and this much power is ridiculous. Yeah, so this battery is a little bit hammered. Shit. I have to, like, turn it around really early so that I can have enough of a chance of stopping the damn thing before it hits the wall. Okay, we're going to keep it down here now because the whole family's sleeping. And, I mean, down here is where this is going to be really ridiculous anyway, because down here is where all that acceleration is going to get used. Man, the low battery warnings are like... Oh, God, don't kill me. The low battery warnings are, like, damn near constantly on because... every time I stab the throttle, it just sags the battery to hell. Oh boy. Stop it, Teddy. Teddy, back off! Still a little bit, you saw a couple of the little jitters there. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't help that this battery is old and moldy, but... Oh god, why? Jeez. All right, 2 more batteries, and these are both much fresher than this. This is a Dogcom battery that's not held up all that well. There's a chance I over-discharged it at some point. I'm still under the impression that none of these batteries are any different. All of these folded cell 300s seem to be exactly the same in terms of runtime, durability, all the stuff. I really do think that they're all coming out of the same factory. If they're not coming out of the same factory, then the 2 factories that are making them are... Neither one of them has an advantage over the other. Teddy! Teddy! Teddy, this is not the rig you want to tangle with, my little fuzzy friend. Oh God! Whoa! Hold on! Wait! Whoa! Hey, hold up! Just hold on! Whoa! Hold up! Just let me just. Okay, wait. Just hold on. Give me a. Come on. Let me just. Oh. All right. All right, hold on. Just he doesn't know where it is. Let me just oh my god, I'm gonna need a fucking cigarette after this. I don't even smoke. Alright, hold on. Just can't you relax? Just take it easy. This thing is angry, dude. The woo! Hold up. What the fuck is happening? Oh my god, dude. This is too much, man. This is way too much. The pid loop agrees. This is an awful lot. Oh no, I did not make a good decision. Maybe I don't have enough pid gain. Hold on. It's significantly worse now. Let's turn this back up. My god, man. Oh yeah, okay. It was a situation where I didn't have enough pid gain. Whoa, god, easy! Hold on, just give me a second. Calm. Oh my god, why? What? Oh! Oh my god! Woo! Woo! Shit! Jesus Christ! Oh, my wormhole has been torn open 6 ways from Sunday. You hurl! Jeez! Come on. I am sweating like a fucking pig. Oh, come on, dude. This is a bit much. This is a mistake. Oh, Teddy! What was that? No, there's still something going on. I need to work on the filters a little bit on this thing, but oh my god. Woo! You know what also is happening? This camera mount, this G-string camera mount, has more up tilt than I'm used to, I think, maybe? I certainly hope so, because, wow, that is, too much. That is too much. Too much. Oh, just hold on. We got one battery left. Oh my god. What the hell? This is more than I can handle. This is too much. This is reckless. Battery bounced back to 375. So that's good. All right. One more. It's going to be okay. I don't think I like this camera as much as the CO3. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think the CO3 might be a little bit better of a camera. Maybe. Who knows? It's hard to tell because I'm just essentially trying to not die the entire time. So, yeah, not sure. I'll get back to you on that. Woo! Jesus. That is absurd. Okay, one more. We can do one more. Okay. Woosah. Motherfuckers, woosah. Let me just... Hold on. Let me just... take a second here. Turn this transmitter off. Shake it out. Kevin the Alien says cuteness aggression. He also says, so our response is to make it stop being cute. That makes sense. Chromaticus says, even the Beta FPV lavas, yes. Yeah, all of the 300 mAh BT 2.0 folded cell batteries, I've run them all, and they've all been the same. Stuff with Caleb says, I'm looking to use analog for my tiny whoops. I'm just mugging the shit out of the dog under the desk right now. I have Goggles X and would need an adapter. Thoughts on that? How much latency would I gain? Thanks for helping me in this hobby. I believe the Goggles X have a bunch of latency when you try to run analog on them. Check out Mads Tech's videos on the Goggles X. He really dove into them. He's your main resource for that. But I think Goggles X with analog is bad. But luckily, there are tons of used Fat Sharks on eBay and Facebook Marketplace that are some of the best analog goggles ever made. Arguably the best. If comfort comes into the equation, Fat Sharks are the best of all time. They're super lightweight. They're incredibly comfortable. They're absolutely phenomenal. You could probably find a set of used Fat Sharks. Look for HD3s, HDOs, HDO2s. You can probably pick up a set with a like $100 receiver module for like $200. And then when you're done with them and you go to sell them, you'll get like $198 for them. Like Fat Sharks have like bottomed out. You could buy it now, sell it exactly what you paid for it in a year, which is awesome. So yeah, that'd be my suggestion, because I think you're gonna have nasty latency with the Goggles X. Unless they've changed something. When they first came out, that was the deal. Maybe they figured it out via firmware, but check with Mads Tech. He's your guy. He's probably got a video already breaking it all down for you. Kevin the Alien says, it's fun watching the equivalent of a turbo Hayabusa engine in a smart car. Yeah. Timon says 300 or 270, all 300s on the crazy KV motors. 40,000 KV motors, don't run them on 260s or 270s. They'll destroy the battery. Oh, look at that. I'm caught up. Very cool. Okay. Enioki says, I found some prawn wrap that's relatively cheap, but should I spring for the shrimp kind? Yeah, spend the extra money on shrimp wrap. The prawn wrap it's okay, but it's not as durable. The shrimps have that good exoskeleton that you really want. Last battery after midnight on the most meme rig I've ever built. Look at this dog. Don't you just want to break his neck? No? It's just me? Okay, well. Is what it is. Bob says, how do you change your PIDs in the goggles? Pitch forward and yaw left at the same time. Put you into this. Hold on. There it goes. Put you into this menu, and then you go roll right. So you go pitch up and down to move up and down. Roll right to select one of these. And then there are your PIDs. Simplified tuning is going to give you the sliders. Yaw left to go back a screen, and then PIDs will give you the actual numbers. But use the sliders. The sliders are awesome. Look at this dog patiently waiting for the props to spin. Ready, Teddy? Oof. Oh! Oh, that mouth! I saw it. Whoa! It's coming at you, Teddy Spaghetti. Oh man, the PID tune is absolutely on the limit. I need to work with the filters. I think there's dog slobber on the lens. Whoa. Oh! Ah! Oh! What the hell was that? Oh boy. Whoa! Look how far away it got. Holy shit. Oh. Somehow I didn't throw it back far enough. Whew. Oh, wow. Some stuff is actually easier to do. because I don't even have to think about the throttle. I can just blip it as quick as I possibly can, and that's like just the right amount of power. Anything with any finesse is all but impossible. Teddy, what the fuck did you do, man? What the hell? Whoa, okay, hold on. This is the move for this rig right here. Ready? This is the rig for this. Oh, the rejection! Oh, man. Battery's done. One more shot. Oh my god, I managed to undershoot it. One more try. We have enough juice? Oh yeah, we're good. Oh god! The mega power loop has never gotten any less difficult. Oh! Boy. I'm undershooting it. Oh, the battery's sagging like a motherfucker. No! Wow, I'm not getting it. Come on. Please. There it is! Twice in a row, motherfuckers, just so you know it's not luck. Woo! So, man, every single one of these batteries has been 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That is outrageous. Especially with how light this thing is. Wow, okay. That's all I can do. That is all that my brain can possibly handle in one flight session. That is hands down the most difficult tiny whoop to fly of all time that I've ever flown. Wow. My hands aren't shaking, but like it feels like my hands are vibrating. Jeez. Maggie's gonna like when I fly this. Wait, you know what? Cole Power says, Teddy has converted your square gate into a trapezoidal prism gate. Yeah. Bad dog. No. I don't know if I can really recommend this setup. This is an awful lot. This is too much. This is for sure too much. The Cockroach Light AF frame did survive. We slammed it really good a couple times. Yeah, this is too much. These 40,000 kV motors are for heavy rigs, not for opening up portals through space and time. Like I said, this is almost impossible to fly. I am using every molecule of piloting skill that I have, and I'm just constantly crashing. I'm still just constantly crashing. You have to move the throttle up and down so fast, and like it goes basically from the floor. If you rocket the throttle up and down as quick as you possibly can, it goes from the floor to the ceiling every single time. Which, if you're doing a power loop through a cube gate to a hanging gate, that's you don't have to think about it. You just and it does it. The problem is, like, if you come charging into that gate, or if if there's any finesse that you need to make to that amount, to the amount of throttle that you're putting in, it's like, ugh. And everything happens so fast that like you're just kind of reacting. You're like, it doesn't feel like I'm flying the rig. It feels like I'm like I've opened the sunroof, and like it feels like I'm driving my car down the road. I open the sunroof and I get out of the car and hold on to the back of the sunroof and try to like drive the car like it's a fucking horse. Is that a vivid enough visual for you? That is that is insane. We're gonna fly some more batteries on this. We're gonna try to tame this. First up is gonna be me figuring out what's going on with the filters, because this is probably really beating the shit out of these 5 amp FETs right now. So I got to spend a little bit of time dialing the filters in. Which is it's not going to make it any easier to fly, but I don't want to cook this 5-in-1. Wowee. That is something else. Cole Power says, Teddy slobber on the lens is your key to good flying. Blind Robot FPV says, any motor recommendations for the Meteor 75 Pro HD? Yeah, the motors that it comes with. Oh, wait. Yeah. The motors that it comes with. 52 grams all up weight and 1102, 22,000 stock right now. Those are the best motors for that rig, hands down. Dexter says, O3 or Vista and why? They're just two totally different things. O3 is much more expensive, significantly heavier, and much worse in low light. The Vista is way cheaper, way more available. Get them used. There's loads of people getting rid of Vistas used. Don't buy one brand new. Much better in low light and lighter. So yeah, neither one is better. They're just different for different scenarios. The O3 is more for like FPV and HD. The Vista is not really going to get the job done for HD. So you're going to be carrying like an external GoPro. The whole like running the O3 system and then carrying a GoPro seems insane to me. The only real reason to do that is that the O3 setup does get a little bit better range and penetration, but it's not that much better, and it is awful expensive, and it's heavier. So yeah, if you're going to be carrying a GoPro, Vista or Walksnail. 661 says, this is now an outdoor whoop. Yeah, right, for sure. It doesn't need, what's funny though is that it doesn't need to be this lightweight. It would kind of make more sense to just do a regular old Ultimate Freestyle setup for these 40,000 with these 40,000 kV motors for an outdoor whoop. The lightweightness is really gonna shine inside the house, but then these motors are too much for inside the house. So this is not a balanced rig. This is an overpowered rig. If it's going to be this light, it shouldn't have this much power. If it's going to have this much power, it should be heavier, right? And so this is a Miata with an LS. I've driven a bunch of them, and they are totally unbalanced. They are damn near 50-50 front to rear weight balanced, but they are unbalanced from the sense of too much power, not big enough fender wells to put wide enough tires under it to have enough grip for the amount of power that it has. So like an LS Miata is a car that you can pretty much never put on the floorboard. Like first gear, second gear, third gear, probably maybe even fourth gear, you cannot put that car on the floorboard without just liquefying the rear tires. And like, as funny as that is for like a couple of months, eventually it's just like, I want to be able to floor this car and I can't without dying immediately. Plus it's super short wheelbase. So like when you do liquefy the rear tires, the ass end comes around like that and you're dead. This is that. This is exactly that. It's an unbalanced, basically power to weight ratio. There is such a thing as too much power to the weight to weight ratio. Dexter, with the last comment on live stream, he says, "What do you think about buying a micro SD from AliExpress?" Don't do it. Get a SanDisk Extreme from Amazon for like $4 more, and it won't die and lose all your footage at some point. It's well worth a couple of extra dollars to not lose all your footage, because when SD cards die is when you've just flown the best footage of your entire life. And so, yeah, don't do it. Don't buy non-SanDisk Extreme SD cards, as far as I'm concerned. They seem to be like the only ones that have any amount of reliability from what I've seen. I haven't really dug into that in a bunch of years though. So, but they're not expensive enough that it doesn't make sense to just snag one. Thanks for hanging out, friends. I'm gonna go take a cold shower and smoke half a pack of cigarettes and meditate for a half an hour to try to get down to some semblance of calm. Not sleeping tonight, that's for goddamn sure. I'll see you guys on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I don't know what we'll do. We'll definitely fly the HDZero whoop for sure. maybe we'll just fly a bunch on Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday will be a really cool fly a bunch of different rigs and talk about, you know, what they're like inside. I will have some more outdoor flight footage by then. So yeah, maybe Wednesday will be a flying heavy live stream. Think up of some questions based around flying. Okay? I keep doing power loops and I keep going up too high and not back far enough. Every single time I do a Matty flip, I just drive myself into the carpet. When I do wall rides, I get pulled away from the wall too much. How do you stay close to the wall? Same thing with dives. When I do a dive, I keep getting pulled away from the wall. Why? Think of flight-specific questions for Wednesday, and let's have that whole live stream be about flying. And I can answer those questions in the air for you. How's that sound? And then we'll do Sim Sunday on Sunday, and you'll be able to see my stick overlay, and you can ask me more of those questions while you see my stick overlay in case that helps you. Cool? Be good, my friends. Thanks for hanging. CiottiFPV.com. Support me, and I'll keep doing this. If you have a couple extra bucks a month, jump onto my Patreon. I've had a ton of people leave for some strange reason over the last month or two. So if you have 10 extra cents a day, jump onto my Patreon. There's a link over on CiottiFPV.com. It's going to be well worth $3 a month, I promise you. Lots of benefits, full Discord access, YouTube playlist with like 90 some unreleased videos, sketchy flying that you want to see that I don't want the FAA to see. It's not really that sketchy, but maybe that'll get you to click. Couple of Facebook groups, a ton of tech articles on the website, and if you do the $5 or up tier, you'll be entered into next Monday's giveaways. So do it, help me out, and let's hang out forever. Love you guys. Bye. I'm not ready. Here is the last that you'll see of the 1S Walksnail 75 Pro setup. Here's the very last battery that I flew on it. And probably the very last battery that I will fly on that setup. Love you guys. Bye. See you Wednesday.